We want to get your DBL take on Chris Cornell, the lead singer of Soundgarden and Audioslave. Very sad. And what we want to gauge from you is the involvement, possibly, according to the family, of Ativan. So he was on the anti-anxiety medication Ativan.
Which somebody with his addiction history, he's a man with opiate addiction history who's been deeply involved in recovery. He should never get that medication.
Really?
Never, ever, ever, ever. I mean, if he needed it for a couple of days or something, okay. But to walk out with a prescription for that is activating his disease for sure. I guarantee you.
That's the problem with prescription pills, Dr. Drew, because when I was looking at the reaction on social, everyone was saying, I have anxiety, I take Ativan, please. Ativan couldn't have contributed to his suicidal tendencies.
100% can. And also, somebody in recovery whose disease is active, they can have some very strange thoughts. So we don't know what the details are, but I'm sure we'll find out. The other thing is Ativan is, not Ativan, but the benzodiazepines generally is the hidden epidemic. All the deaths you see from opiates, from painkillers, when somebody dies of a prescription for opiates, there's always a benzodiazepine on board. Prince, Xanax, and fentanyl. But the reason he stopped breathing was the combo, not the fentanyl, the combo with Xanax. And heroin can kill you, that for sure can. But when you're taking an oral opiate, it's because you also took a benzodiazepine that you stopped breathing.
So she had mentioned, Vicky, his wife, in her statement that he was slurring when he was on the phone with her before he committed suicide. Is that from the Ativan?
Yes.
Or do you think combination of something?
Well, we'll find out when the toxicology comes out. But the Ativan is sufficient to cause those kinds of problems.
Wow.
He should never have had that medication. I don't know that it's directly related, but it's related. I guarantee you. It's just such a sad story. And by the way, Chris Cornell's passing has rocked people. I mean, I've had getting rocked on two fronts. One is people that are sick and tired of people dying of prescription medications and doctors not understanding addiction. In my world, people are sick of that because that's what's killing drug addicts today. People that don't understand addiction, treating drug addicts and killing them. Not intending to, I understand. That's number one. And then number two, the fact that this guy represented a lot to a lot of people, and his passing, a lot of people did, and his passing just rocked everybody. It's almost existential in some weird way, because particularly your age, like I would say, even your age.
I loved him.
Yeah, and he sort of represented.
He's my nostalgic teen youth, almost teen angst in a way.
Absolutely, and that generation from you to sort of maybe age 40 even. They sort of saw him as representative of a generation that kind of got forgotten. They got left behind. And this guy spoke on their behalf, or he spoke to them, and now he's gone. That was, I can't even put words yet to.
Cried when I found out. I cried.
But it rocked in a way that we've had lots of people die that rocked us. This one did something excessive. I don't have yet words to describe, and people are having trouble describing it to me.
So, springboard off of that, his wife also released in a statement. She said, quote unquote, she saw her husband's suicide as inexplicable, in the sense that, in so many words, they had plans for Memorial Day weekend.
That's right.
Does it just come out of nowhere?
Well,
or were there signs that she missed?
Maybe, but I think what she's saying is that this wasn't just somebody with bad depression whose depression had recurred. There's something else involved here, and I totally agree with her. We don't know what that something is yet till we get more information from the autopsy results. But there's something not right about this story. This guy was not that kind of, I mean, he had a history of that kind of depression, so we know he can see one of the possibilities, just one, is that the Ativan was associated with acute suicidality. When you add that, some people get acute suicidal thinking from Ativan. He's somebody that's had intensive suicidal thoughts and depression in the past, so he might be at risk for that kind of thing. And if you add in the activation of the addiction and people in recovery whose disease has been activated, they're ashamed of that. It can be a lot of stuff that can take somebody. And if the Ativan, you don't know what you're doing sometimes. You take more than you should. It's just.
He said he took a couple, according to her statement, and that doesn't seem like a lot, but maybe that's enough.
He shouldn't have been on that medicine.
Okay.
Period.
That's so sad.
Period.
That is
It's
so
sad.
So sad. For those out there that that have a loved one that they believe is contemplating suicide or depressed, and you know me, we've talked about this before. I'm a codependent. So if there is someone that's dealing with suicidal tendencies, and you think you've exhausted your resources, you think that you have exhausted yourself, then what do? Do you step back? You can't force someone to get help. What do you do?
Well, if they're actively suicidal, you call law enforcement. Period.
And they 5150, is that
they will, whatever, it depends. I mean, the point is, you don't any more than if they had chest pain or were short of breath or had some medical problem. You call for help, and it's not about you. It's just get the help in. And if it's somebody that cries wolf, too bad.
Too bad.
Still call for help, because you can't screw around with that.